dusty, sunlit sage. It is early morning in late summer, Labor Day, and autumn has just begun to edge the green landscape with a rim of brown. Dew is still on the landscape, and mist rises from the earth in the distance.
Whenever I hear the train come into town, I always get a little feeling of excitement. Can you hear?
You said you were going to marry me, Howard. You said when I got back from my vacation, you'd be waiting with the preacher.
Honey, I've had an awful busy summer.
Where's the preacher, Howard? Where is he?
Because once, she was young and pretty. If she loses her chance then, she might as well throw all her prettiness away.
I've always had the feeling, if I just had the chance, I could set the world on fire.
When I graduate from college, I'm going to New York and write novels that'll shock people right out of their senses. I'll be so great and famous, I'll never have to fall in love.
Hey, goon girl.
It's Poop Deck McCullough.
It's another drag name.
He runs inside the front door, leaving Hal behind to despise himself. He beats his fists together, kicks the earth with his heels, and starts off hating the day he was born.
Wow. There are so many things I meant to tell her and never got around to it.
Let her learn them for herself, Flo.
We're not going to no goddamn picnic.
Yeah!
That's the title of his course, isn't it? Whispering to myself in Oyster Bay, I remembered how unhappy Tennessee had been with his menagerie in Chicago. How wrong he'd been.
I go down into my basement with a piece of chalk and the things.
Taking the chalk, I draw a line down the basement floor, bisecting the area into two equal halves.
One on my left, one on my right.
I think Inge on my right, Tennessee on my left.
You must be careful to stay on the line, not stepping to the right or the left, falling into the spaces on either side.
A pine cone. Inch. A red balloon. Inch as well. An atlas of the U.S. in the 1950s. Tennessee.
Anybody you like? You know, I haven't seen much of that your friend Claire.
I haven't been talking to any girls. Or anyone else, really. Because I found out about change. I think it's a secret people try to keep hidden like dirt under their fingernails. And Claire changed and I stayed the same, and somehow I think this is both false and unfair.
What's the use, baby? I'm a pop.
When curtain goes up, Millie is alone on the porch. She has permitted herself to dress up and wears a becoming feminine dress, which she cannot help but feel a little strange. And Millie stands listening to it for a moment. Then she begins to sway to the music. porch and yard. The music stops suddenly, and Millie's mood is broken.
Don't quit now, Ernie!
She cannot hear Ernie's reply.
Huh? I had to bathe and dust my limbs with powder and slip in my thigh.
Did you clean the bathtub?
Yes, I cleaned the bathtub.
She becomes very self-conscious.
Madge. How do I look?
You look very pretty.
I feel sort of funny.
You can keep the dress if you want it.
Thanks. Do you think he'll like me?
Why ask me all the questions? You're supposed to be the smart one.
I don't really care. I wonder.
You puzzle me.
The holiest of rejections. My father is a Christian. As such, he is commanded to love God above all else. Therefore, my father loves God more than me. He loves something he can never see or touch more than his son.
Rejection of a first love. After a month's long courtship, he went away for a long weekend, and when he came back, I told him exactly how I felt. Turns out over the weekend he picked up a girlfriend. It happens.
Why I'm friends with William Inge. Inge spent his life standing next to his true desires and never in the center of them. Inge wrote a collection of plays hedging his true nature. In opposition to the raging chaos in his own life, Inge tried to make this fantasy place called Freedom, Kansas. And the thing that just makes me weep is that the home he built out of his words wasn't a place he would ever have been allowed to live. Inge is not a genius, and this is very important to me. We are all very quick to call people genius because we don't think too much about what the word means. But what Inge did was paint these beautifully detailed portraits of desperate people trying to figure things out, and I love that about him. When I think of Inge, my mind always strays to the Christmas weekend he spent with Tennessee Williams in Chicago during the opening of Glass Menagerie. Most folks think that they were briefly lovers, and it was during that weekend that Inge whispered his wish to be a playwright to Tennessee. I imagine nighttime in Chicago's downtown Loop neighborhood. I imagine his breath in the air. I want to be a playwright. Is the same thing as saying, I love you.
We'd like to end the play, but we can't. We don't know how, but we think it would look something like this.